Okay, so good day everyone. Good day, sir. I am Mario Tabopo, and this time I will discuss or I will continue our discussion for chapter 10, which is the information processing. Okay, so we are now on the short-term memory, or we also called as the working memory. So ang capacity sa short-term memory is only hold 5 to 9 chunks of information, and sometimes it is described as 7 plus minus 2, which means that ang average lang sa capacity sa short-term memory is 7 chunks lang yun, and it will range as or of 5 to 9 chunks kaya pwede siya madugangan, pwede po siya mogamay. No. So when we say chunk or chunking, it is a process of organizing information into smaller. Say for example, instead of remembering the long sequence of number or digits, say for example, imuhang phone number or imuhang ATM number, inana. So we need to chunk or pwede nimo siya i-groups into 5, 9, 7, 6 for us to easily remember those very long digits or number. And then, ang duration po sa short-term memory is around 10 to 30 or less seconds lang. Say for example, nag-transfer ka og school. So, di ba bag-o na nga mga tao imuhang makasalamuha, no? So, as they introduce you or as more people or new people introduce, you may start to forget the details about the earlier introduced or katong pinakauna nga na-introduce sa imuha. Kay those people you just met is only temporarily stored in your memory or in your short-term memory. So if dili nimo siya ma-rehearse or mabalik-balik ang ilahang names or ilahang details, mag-start na siya og gawala sa imong memory in just 10 to 30 seconds. And ginatawag ni siya og working memory because it is part of your memory where new information is temporary ra siya nga mga ma-stored sa imuhang memory. And then ma-manipulate pa siya or ma-process pa siya. It is where we actively process and work with information before it is either transferred to the long-term memory. So the information in the short-term memory is only maintained for limited time lang yun, and it is usually to siya 15 or 18 seconds to 30 seconds. And if ang information dili siya mabalik-balik or dili siya ma-transfer sa ato ang long-term memory, mao na to siya nga mawala siya or ma-forgot na nato ang information nga ato ang na-learn. And overall, ang short-term memory has limited capacity, which means na we need to be efficient kung paano nato i-process, kung paano nato i-store ang information sa ato ang memory. Okay, so next we have the long-term memory. No? So when we say long-term memory, it is the final or permanent storing house for memory information, and it holds the stored information until needed again. So ang capacity sa long-term memory has unlimited capacity. No, you can store huge amount of information sa imong long-term memory, no, mga skills or imong mga experiences. And ang duration di ani is indefinite, no. Those information, those memories, knowledge nga na-stored sa imong long-term memory can last a lifetime, no, magdugay gid siya sa imuha. And ginatawag siya og permanent storing house or for your memories or knowledge. And ang information nga ma-transferred, no, ang information is ma-transferred siya from short-term memory to long-term memory through the process of encoding mo to siya. If balik-balik ko nimo or i-rehearse nimo ang information, masulod siya or ma-transferred siya from a short-term memory to long-term memory. Example, if you are learning algebra in your math class, no, when you are first introduced the new algebraic or kanang concept sa algebra such as factoring polynomials, so katong information is initially ma-stored sa imuhang short-term memory. And then sa short-term memory, you can hold and manipulate this new or ma-process nimo ang kaning new nga mga mathematical idea temporarily lang, no, sa imuhang short-term memory, like for 8, 10 to 30 seconds. But to truly learn or retain an algebra skills, dapat i-transfer nimo siya sa imuhang long-term memory. So as you practice no sa mga algebra problems after class, i-review nimo tong mga materials repeatedly over time, those concept or katong mga problem solving techniques nga ma-encode na sa imuhang or ma-process na sa imuhang long-term memory, which is ang long-term memory nimo is your permanent storing or storage na gyud sa imuhang mga knowledge. No, so once those concept or mga idea or knowledge is ma-permanent na sa imuhang memory, they are no longer just temporary information na magamit na nimo na siya if needed. No, so even if dili na ka maka-study or maka-study sa math no in class in several years, no, you may still able to recall or apply the basic algebra techniques, no, because this mathematical skills are na-encode or encoded na sa imuhang long-term memory. So next we have the executive control process. Now, so the executive control process involve the executive processor, or what is referred to as metacognitive skills. So these processes guide the flow of information through the system, help the learner make informed decision about how to categorize, organize, or interpret information. Example of processes are attention, rehearsal, and organization. Say for example, imagine you are a student studying for upcoming exam. No, as you review katong nga materials, no, ang executive control process would involve kaning attention, rehearsal, and organization. So in attention, you need to focus your attention sa mga concept, sa mga formulas nga gina-discuss during class discussion, rather than getting distracted by the social media or other relevant or irrelevant information. Kaya if ma-distract ka, katong mga important nga mga information during class discussion is dili siya masulod or ma-store sa imuhang memory. Next, we have the rehearsal. So you need to repeat, no, balik-balikon gid nimo og practice ang mga solving math problems or pag-solve sa math problems to help nga ang katong mga formulas or mga problem solving strategies no is ma-store gid sa imuhang memory or masulod sa imuhang memory. The rehearsal process no is maghatag og strength no sa connection sa imuhang brain para mas madali nimo siya ma-recall if kailangan na siya or gamiton na siya. Okay, so next we have the forgetting, no? So in forgetting, it is an inability to retrieve or access information we needed, no? Kaya nalimtan naman nimo ang information nga imong na-learned previously. And it is also referred as a process by which information or skills that have been learned are lost or become less accessible over time. Now, so there are two main ways in which forgetting likely occurs. First is decay. So decay is an information is not attended to and eventually fades away. Now, say for example, if nagtuon ka og kung paano mag-solve og linear equation or system sa linear equation using substitution method. No, if dili nimo siya mabalik-balik or dili nimo siya ma-practice og solve kato nga type sa problem, no, ang mga specific steps, mga procedure nga nag-involve atong substitution, it will gradually decay or mawala siya sa imuhang working memory. And sa mapansin ninyo, if magbalik or balikon to ninyo solve, no, same or katulang nga problem, same as the problem nga imuhang natun-an na before, you may find that you've forgotten the key part of process. Malimtan nimo unsaon pag substitute kung sa next step ato, like yeah, katong unsaon nimo pa unsay steps or next step atong pag-solve or pag-substitute. And the lack of repeated practice and rehearsal can cause the information to fade from your memory, no? So dapat balik-balikan gid mo siya, rehearse gid mo siya para ma-store gid siya sa imong memory. So next we have the interference. It is the new or old information blocks the access to the information in a question. So let's say you are learning about factoring quadratic expression in your algebra class. Now, so as you move on to learning about other algebraic techniques, like completing the square or using the quadratic formula, the new methods, kanang new methods na imong natun-an can cause interference, which is if i-try nimo og gamit tong pinakauna nimo nga na-learn nga pag-factor sa quadratic expression, dili nimo siya mahinumduman. Like, ang bag-o na nga techniques ang imuhang ma-remember. The new mathematical knowledge is blocking your access to the earlier factoring skills you developed. So, mao na siya ang interference. Okay, so we have here the methods of increasing retrieval information. So first is the rehearsal. This is preparing information verbatim either mentally or aloud. Okay, so ang rehearsal is mag-involve din siya repetitions information either mentally or aloud, by repeatedly or balik-balikon nimo siya review, i-recite ang information, it becomes more deeply encoded sa imong memory, sa imong long-term memory. So next is the meaningful learning. This is connection between new information and prior knowledge. So making connection between new information and sa imong prior knowledge will help the new information become more meaningful and memorable. And relating those concepts nga natun-an na nimo or na-understand na nimo previously will create stronger association in your memory. So next we have the organization. It is making connection among various pieces of information, which is ang information is dapat naka-organize siya efficiently para dali ra siya ma-recall. Now, organizing this information into logical categories or frameworks makes it easier na ma-store nato or ma-retrieve nato ang information. Grouping related pieces of information together or creating visual maps provides retrieval costs. Then the more structured and interconnected the information sa ato ang memory, the simpler it is to recall. Dali lang nato siya ma-recall if needed na nato or need na nato to siya nga information. Okay, so next we have the elaboration. This is adding ideas to the new information based on what you already know. It is connecting new information with old gained knowledge. So ang elaboration, it involves adding extra details or explanations or examples sa new information. If i-expand mo gud nimo ang mga basic facts with your own thoughts or and connections, maka-create ka og richer memory traces. The more you can tie new information sa imong existing knowledge, the better you'll be able to recall it later. Ma-recall gud nimo siya if ikaw gud mismo is expand sa imong own thoughts and connections sa kato nga information. So next we have the visual imagery. This means forming a picture of the information. So forming mental pictures or visualizations sa information can be a mnemonic devices. If i-associate nimo ang verbal o abstract concept or in visual images can make them more memorable. Mas memorable ang information nga imuhang na matunan. The visual representation provides an additional retrieval cost compared to just trying to remember the information. So next is the generation. Things we produce are easier to remember than things we hear. So if we generate, if kita mismo mag-generate or mag-produce og information rather than passively receiving it, no, is ma-enhance ato ang memory if kita gyud mag-produce og information based sa ato ang na learn. When you have actively recall or kanang apply or mag-create og something, it becomes more memorable than simply reading or listening it. The mental effort involved in generation leads to a stronger encoding in your memory, no? So if kita gyud mag-generate, kita gyud mag-produce og information, mas memorable siya. Next is the context. Remembering the situation help recover information. Okay, so the situational context in which you learn or encode information can provide retrieval cost. So for example, dito naman ni siya natunan nga information. So you need to remember that situation para ma-remember nimo tong information no nga imuhang na-learn. Remembering the environment, the mode, or other details surrounding when you learn something will help you recall that information later. Then recreating the original context can facilitate access to the stored memories. The next is the personalization. It is making the information relevant to the individual. Diri sa personalization, it is making information personally relevant or meaningful to your own life experiences can enhance your memory, like connecting new knowledge to your own interest, goals, backgrounds, no? And then the personal significance you attach sa kato na information can provide additional retrieval pathways. So next we have the other memory methods. So first memory method is the serial possession effect or recency and primacy. It is you will remember the beginning and end of a list more readily. No? So the serial possession effect also refers to the tendency for people to better remember the items. No? Ma-remember nimo ang information at the beginning, which is the primacy effect, and in the end, which is the recency effect of the list or sequence compared to the middle of the items. So, ang primacy effect sa kaning serial possession effect occurs because the first items have more time nga na-encode sa imuhang memory. Then, sa recency effect, it happens because the last items kay still fresh pa sa imuhang short-term memory or sa imuhang working memory. So, the recency effect happens, or the strategies to leverage the serial possession is possession effects include placing the important information at the beginning and at the end, no? Para mas ma-recall nimo ang information. Next, we have the part learning. Break up the list or chunk information to increase memorization. So this involves breaking down a large amount of information or a complex task into smaller, more manageable or chunks. So mga to siya akong giingon gaina, we need to chunk those very long information or digits. Studying or practicing sa mga parts separately can make overall material more memorable and dali ra nato siya matun-an. Say for example, instead of trying to memorize a long list of items all at once, no? So you would break it into smaller sublets to learn piece by piece. Part learning, kaning part learning is it can help to reduce the cognitive load and allows us to focus on mastering each component before integrating it in a whole. No, so ana ang part learning, ano siya, naa siya yung mga chunks which is piece by piece nimo siya matun-an before nimo integrate as a whole. Next is distributed practice. Break up learning sessions rather than cramming all the information in at once or mass practice. So distributed practices, it is a strategy of spacing out learning sessions over time, no, rather than cramming all the information into a single mass practice session. No? So dapat naka-session gid imuhang pag-study, like karon na adlaw mag-study ka inana na oras, and in the other day na pod distributing practices or study sessions, no, with break in between leads to a better long-term retention compared to mass practice. Dili gid nimo siya ikaisahon lang, dapat naka-session gid siya. Distributed practice allows for this consolidation process to occur, making the information more durable or masulod gid siya sa imuhang memory. Dapat naka-session or naagid kay learning session. Lastly, we have okay, so these are memory techniques that learners employ to help them retain and retrieve information more effectively. And this includes the loci techniques. So in loci techniques, it is associating, or yes, mag-associate ka og mga information with specific location in a familiar mental space. Next is the acronym. So mag-create ka og word from the first letter of the list of items. Sa sentence construction is mag-construct or pwede ka mag-construct og mga memorable phrases. Mga phrases dito ang information para ma-remember nimo ang sequence. Then big words, no, linking new information or new knowledge or information to pre-established pigs or visual cause. Then connecting new information to existing knowledge in a meaningful ways. And lastly, association techniques among others. So applying these various mga memory enhancement strategies can significantly ma-improve imong ability to effectively store or ma-retrieve ang mga important information, whether it is for academic, it is for professional or personal purposes. Okay, so that would be all for the chapter 10, which is for information processing. Thank you.